Mic check one. Mic check one.
going to get started, this is a meeting of the Hamilton County Board of County Commissioners. It is July 31st, 2025. I'm going to call this meeting to order. We always start our meetings with silent prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us in silent prayer. Amen.
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's do introductions from the dais.
Quinn Falter, Executive Assistant.
Christy Rischel, Assistant Clerk.
Stephanie Summerall-Dumas, Commissioner.
Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese.
Jeff Valuto, County Administrator.
And Schooley, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney.
Thank you. I'm going to make a motion that we approve of the minutes of the previous session.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer-Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioners, with your deference, I am going to move up our executive session and make a motion that we go into executive session pursuant to ORC Section 121.22G2 to discuss the sale or acquisition of property.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer-Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to continue to move through our agenda here. So we have a presentation from Nick Crosley. Welcome, Nick. It's good to see you. Related to August 2025 as National Emergency Management Awareness Month. And so we've got a proclamation, but why don't we go ahead and read the proclamation and we'll provide some comment and then we'll hear from you. How about that? Okay. All right, so we've got a proclamation, again, proclaiming August 2025 as National Emergency Management Awareness Month, whereas emergencies and disasters can occur anywhere and unexpectedly, posing significant threats to life, property, and the environment.
And whereas emergency management plays a critical role in developing preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation programs in the community to protect lives and property before, during, and after disasters. And whereas the Hamilton County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency is the countywide emergency management agency for Hamilton County, established to serve as a central point for coordinating the county's emergency management efforts with all key partners. And whereas emergency management partners across all sectors play a crucial role in building and sustaining a more disaster-resistant and resilient community.
Whereas emergency managers throughout Hamilton County have served residents and visitors during all types of emergencies and disasters, and dedicated countless hours to establishing and maintaining the capabilities necessary to effectively direct, coordinate, and support emergency and disaster response and recovery efforts through compassion and professionalism. And whereas National Emergency Management Month provides an opportunity to express appreciation to all emergency managers who serve Hamilton County and emphasize the importance of investing in and bringing awareness to their role in helping our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio, does hereby recognize the commitment of Hamilton County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency and its partners to prepare, protect, and serve Hamilton County against all hazards and risks.
And be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County does hereby proclaim August 2025 as National Emergency Management Awareness Month in all of Hamilton County. Well, Nick, welcome back.
Thank you.
We recently had our EMA meeting where you talked about how we are doing in the county, given the natural disasters that are happening not only throughout the country but throughout the world, and the increased frequency of natural disasters, it is critically important that our communities know about the tools that are available to them and their citizens by way of preparedness, but also know how to access those tools and have a training. And your agency, obviously, is the agency that does that. I know that you are very passionate about it. You're very aggressive with the local jurisdictions, but it is all to make sure the citizens in Hamilton County are safe no matter what the situation. So I just want to compliment you on your work. You have a very stellar national reputation. We see each other at these conferences, and people always tell me about how Hamilton County is really ahead of so many other communities. So I'm grateful for that. So thank you for what you do, and delighted to be passing the proclamation here this morning still. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Nick, for your staff, and as President Driehaus was saying, the many accolades that you receive. And what I like about you, one of the few things, is that training and education is so important to you. You never stop trying to find out what the innovative methods are, and certainly we appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you.
I always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's even more important now when we see these natural disasters that are happening everywhere. We just was worried this week about the tsunami and just so many things that people would say, well, it's not going to come to my area. We had flooding. I remember they said, we're in the floodplain and we have a strategy for that, but never thinking that it's going to actually happen. And the flood went into the garages, and you were able to be on the scene right away. So this is real. These natural disasters are real. So definitely, I think this is just a re-emphasizing of how important we have to be prepared. And a lot of us, just don't think it's going to happen to us. So I appreciate the trainings. And I know one of the things we talked about, even start having the churches where they can do trainings and obviously, sign up so you could get the alerts. But once you get the alert, just what do you do? Where do you go? How do you handle? And like I said, I never thought we would have the flood. And it was just like out of nowhere, here comes this flood. And we were lucky to get through that. So just want to, again, thank you for all you do, keeping coordination going, everything. Even when we had the scare at the school, we were able to get dealing with that. We had the train situation. So these things are real. And being ready is so important. So just want to thank you and your team and your leadership in coordinating so that everybody is not running around crazy, but they're all on one page with a plan. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just say quickly, I know we're running a little behind. The onus behind this new effort to recognize the work of emergency managers. So we're oftentimes in the background. The most public thing we do is the emergency alert and warning. Wireless emergency alerts, outdoor warning sirens, alert Hamilton County, emergency EAS system, no weather radios, all those kinds of things. But the onus behind this was, and I'm sure you've seen this, is the changes that are being talked about at the federal level, and the onus to move even more of the response and recovery capability and preparation onto state and local governments. This is an issue I've seen, in my view, since I follow it quite extensively. I've seen that coming for a while, and so I've been working to position Hamilton County to be ahead of the curve when that change started happening at the federal government. So right now you see interesting things going on within the federal emergency management level, and we want to be as prepared as possible. And so with the help of my staff, who I brought some here with me today, both Morgan, who's been with us for like 10 years, and then two of our newest staff, for the opportunity to be recognized for the 24/7 work we put into monitoring and being prepared for disaster response. And with the commitment of the Board of County Commissioners, our new public safety warehouse, where we house disaster response supplies and equipment, to the new 911 EMA center in Springdale, where we'll be able to effectively coordinate countywide response and recovery. And then as we move to this, whatever the next era is in the United States of emergency management, that Hamilton County can be prepared to be able to manage that as effectively as possible. Disasters are complicated. They're called a disaster for a reason. There is no perfect disaster response, but the pieces that we're responsible for, and then engaging with all of our partners. So I'm sure you're aware of this, but we engage with obviously our government partners at the county level. We work with all 49 communities to work to get them prepared to respond to disasters within their communities. And then finally, the public and the private and nonprofit sector. So we have an extensive network of nonprofits that we work with, and then we obviously work with several private sector partners. Again, it takes all of Hamilton County to help all of Hamilton County, and we serve all residents of Hamilton County. And I want to make that clear that regardless of the community, Hamilton County is here to help, and we're here to coordinate external resources as they come in and try to help our residents recover as fast as possible. And then finally, I'll just add, when you talk about we don't think disasters could affect us, the largest power outage I think ever experienced by Hamilton County was caused by the effects of a hurricane. Hurricane Ike in 2008 caused, I think it was 25% of the county to be without power for up to a week. And that was a hurricane. So you think hurricane, coastal areas, not our problem. And then you start to see these, what they call derecho events coming up through the United States and causing havoc. And that a couple of years ago, that's what caused a lot of havoc as you moved inland from the coast areas. We just got lucky and it didn't come up this far. It dissipated before it got here. So that was actually one of the biggest. All the way up to the train works the issue we had in Whitewater Township, and making sure we can send effective alert and warning and tell people, this is what's going on, this is the incident we're dealing with, and here's what we'd like you to do to protect yourself. And that's really clear. So everything from trying to get communities and people to prepare pre-disaster to helping people recover post-disaster. And it's a clear and ongoing mission that we are working on 24/7, 365. So we appreciate the recognition today.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to take a photo with you, and if you'd like to bring the team up,
Yes, I would like
we'll
to.
take a photo with everybody. Thank you. All right, our next order of business is public comment. We have one speaker's card from Matthew Robinson. Please come forward. You've got the pleasure of the floor for 2 minutes. Welcome.
Hello, I'm back again. I'm here. I didn't see the Paycor Stadium on your agenda today, but I know it's on a lot of people's mind. So, I just wanted to see if you guys had any updates on that. I know I've sent you guys some emails. I know you guys got a lot of emails with different people and stuff like that, and ideas as far as what you guys can do to tweak the current negotiations with the current lease, with you guys discussions with the Bengals. And, I just feel like I think you guys are putting together a pretty good the conversation with the Bengals as far as being able to get people to come here and speak. And I know the deadline's tomorrow, and I know you still got time, but I'm pretty, if you guys have made your decision, we'll see what happens. And that's pretty much all I have to say right now.
Appreciate you coming in again. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's move into comments and motions of the commissioners. Commissioner Summer Odumas.
Thank you. Just a couple comments. I attended the Music Fest press conference. It was a huge weekend, not only for Music Fest, but all the other activities that were going on. And I'm sure that even those that were from out of town had a great time, and the ones that were in town, of course. It's just a custom for a lot of people to attend. I also attended the EMA, Emergency Management Agency executive meeting with Nick and his staff, who they're all gone, they didn't stay. But it's always so interesting and so creative, innovative, as I was saying earlier. They just are. We talked about sirens when we were there too, and some of the issues with sirens. I got another notice last night, and it said it was a mistake, and I should not have received it, but not from us, but it was another jurisdiction. So also met with Prosecutor Connie Pillage about some items that are coming forth that she wanted to make me aware of. And also met with the Covington mayor, Ron Washington. He's the first African-American mayor in Covington. He had served 2 terms as vice mayor, and he's also previously was a police officer and a sheriff, and they are doing great things. They're our neighbors, and I thought I would have him come over so I could kind of get to know him a little bit better. One day introduce him, but I went straight into another meeting, but I'm sure you guys will be seeing him around he was on the news last night. And then I met with Steve Taggart from Amoresco, who they provide us electrical and engineering work in our buildings previously, and they're working on some right now up at the campus that we'll be moving to. So that was a very good, informative meeting. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Reese.
Thank you very much. Was excited for the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. It takes a lot of work and planning to put it together. It was an outstanding event, but I do want to highlight Veda Stevens from my office, Jackie Taggart Boyd, Romaine Jones, Aziza Nubia, Al Chang, and all the countless volunteers. Miss Viola Brown, who organized 3 buses of senior citizens that were brought down and treated VIP style. Want to give Metro a big shout out as a great partner. Want to thank Phil Beck and Joe Paul to make sure everything was right, everything was pristine and ready to go. And want to thank our partners, Metro, First Financial, Kroger's, Greater Cincinnati Foundation, Mimi, Santangelo, want to thank them, and Ollie Trolley, the library, and we had a goal. We don't have dedicated marketing toward the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. We don't have a brochure. Our goal was to get to 250,000 visitors. We got to 285,424 visitors. That is huge. And we had some great inductees again this year. Everybody was classy. Everybody had a great time. Everyone there was safe. And we hit capacity again. We honored the late Nancy Wilson, and her son, who never comes out anywhere, came and said, "This is phenomenal." We had a tribute by Regina Bell that was like being at Carnegie Hall. She was so beautiful in her voice. We had the Ohio Players who were honored and got their star. Gospel icon Dottie Peoples and the OJs, that everybody was to their feet. It's been nothing but positive, and we've gotten a lot of national news as well as local on the positivity of something that we have that no one else has, which is a Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame that has technology, education, tourism and economic development, and sharing the stories of the musical legacies, which is huge. We also want to thank the library. We have a new exhibit at the library, and it's permanent and it's completely free. So we encourage people to go down to the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. It's free, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. with light shows at 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. and all the way, free, and people have come from all over the world to come and see it. And then go to the library, and you can learn a lot more about the artists. You can pull down their songs, you could see their different artifacts, and I want to thank the library for that. We have a permanent exhibit, and Dottie Peoples donated her gown that she wore to the first Stellar Awards to the exhibit. So there'll be a lot more. Penny Ford, who came in from Germany, from Cincinnati, who is now become an ambassador, one of our honorary international ambassadors for the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. She just mailed her items and some of her wares to also be donated to our library. So very excited. Once again, outstanding event. And I want to thank every person that came out and participated, and every person that has visited this tourism attraction, education attraction, and technology attraction. No one in the world right now has the technology that we have that connects these stories in an automated, augmented reality way. So just want to thank everybody. And Jeff, want to thank you and the administration. Also want to thank Bridget and Amanda, who are also there as well, and Robert Bell. I saw him come in, and a couple people were asking about small business. I said, there he is, Robert Bell. Go see Robert Bell. So, and there were some people who came for the first time, and they are still talking about it. So we're on, like I said, all these national publications online are sharing the great day that we had at the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. And I want to thank everybody, because it was super hot, that stood in line to march in with us. So I do want to thank them, and also want to thank the county administration, because we provided free parking so that the citizens had no barriers, they can participate. So thank you very much. That's was a lot to do. So that took up my weeks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have a couple of things. I missed the music festival. I was out of town this past weekend, so I regret missing all the activities, but I have heard that they were spectacular as always, so congratulations on that, Commissioner Reese.
Thank you.
I did a couple things on the west side over the past week or two, a couple of proclamations. One went to Sam Beltos, who was the owner of Price Hill Chili. His family was there, and we recognized what that institution means to particularly West Siders. Having been there probably hundreds of times with my family, I can attest to what it means to bring community people together and provide nutrition for all of us, good food, a good company. And so we wanted to recognize the passing of Sam and thank his family for continuing to run Price Hill Chili over in West Price Hill. I also did a proclamation on behalf of the board for the Elizabethtown United Methodist Church closing worship service way out on the west side. And so we wanted to recognize that the service of that worship, or the worship service and the church, and what they did for the community over all these years. So I was happy to represent the commission on both of those items on the west side. Also, here's another one. I was on the west side with the QRT. We went into Price Hill. There have been a lot of increased activities out in Price Hill related to negative behavior. And so we went out to put our eyes on it, picked up trash, picked up some needles, listened to the community. We're trying to solve for some of the real stressors for the folks that live in Price Hill, whether it's east, lower, or west. And so continuing to work on those issues, but was grateful for the opportunity to go out with the QRT and community members in that effort. The other thing is that I have been appointed to the Property Tax Relief Task Force. It's the governor's task force. I think there are 11 of us on there. It is bipartisan, and we are trying to figure out a way to make sure that people have property tax relief, keep people in their homes who feel that they are priced out and can no longer afford their property taxes without bankrupting local governments. So that's the task. It's a big task. There's been a lot of work done by the legislature and others related to this topic, and so we are trying to figure out a way to provide serious relief, again, without curtailing the services that we provide here at the county. And so Bill Seitz and Pat Teaberry are the chairs of the committee. I've got a binder of homework that I have to get through. It's on my desk. I'm getting through it, but it is hopefully going to provide some real relief. Over the next couple months, we'll come up with some kind of strategies to provide to the legislature. So I'm looking forward to that. And then lastly, there is a big event coming up this weekend in Cincinnati, and it's Paddle Fest. Paddle Fest is, I believe, the largest paddling event throughout the country. It is really spectacular, and it's on the river. Brewster Rhodes, who I know many of us know, organizes this event with other organizations, and it is just spectacular coming together of this community in a really unique way, which is literally paddling on the river. So it's lots of fun. I did it last year. I'm doing it again this year. I'm doing all 9 miles. We'll see how we do. I'm going to be sore afterwards, but it really is a great event. And so thank you to Brewster for continuing to put this event forward with the Adventure Crew and other organizations. It's just really a lot of fun. That is what I have. Administrator Aludo.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I forgot, and I cannot forget this. I do have to thank Damon Jones and Procter & Gamble, who sponsored the Stars. I talked about partners, and I want to thank them for their partnership. And Christy Coons, who with the Southwest Urban League, who's also a partner. I want to thank them as well. And I forgot to mention Lincoln Ware and Don Juan for sure, those 2 people. We do have an item on here, item number 14, when we get to it. It deals with the motorized and non-motorized vehicles in the Black Music Walk of Fame, because we've got to keep it where it's not getting all torn up. You know, these terrazzo stars are expensive, and for safety reasons. We also, hopefully, it's not a skateboard park, so we don't want to tear the place up. So item number 14, I think Frank is going to bring, that will address that, but I just wanted to bring attention to that to my colleagues as well.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to the administrator. Jeff?
Thank you, Commissioners. So I have several buy leaves today. Also, as the board may be aware, we have an additional buy leave item that will be coming in relating to the Bengals lease. That is still in production. So I'm going to walk through my buy leaves. We maybe want to go through the consent agenda so we can make sure we give enough time for that item. Commissioners, the first buy leave that you have on your agenda today relates to the East Branch, Ohio Interceptor. This is an MSD project. It is at $4.895 million. This is amending the MSD capital improvement program to revise the general plan of sewerage, declaring necessity to construct, determining the need to proceed with the improvement, making that capital program appropriation, et cetera. I believe this is part of our phase 2B. I believe Matt from MSD is here. So I don't know, Matt, if you want to provide a little bit more context on the project.
Oh, Lauren's here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lauren, I'm sorry. I didn't see you through the pillar.
Sorry about that.
Yep. Sorry, Lauren.
Yeah, I think you summed it up well. Mentioned that it's in the Phase 2B plan. At this point, this legislation in front of you today is to authorize and initially fund preliminary work to relocate utilities for this project. They're utilities that are owned by Duke Energy, and they're in conflict with the proposed project. The amount we're requesting is $4,895,142. Which will ultimately be reimbursed by ODOT. As you'll recall, back in December, the board approved an agreement with ODOT to collaborate on this project as part of their work on the Brent Spence Bridge. So ODOT will be reimbursing MSD for its design and construction funds for this project. Again, this is just for preliminary utility relocation. Today, we will come back with a request for an appropriation for the main construction package later this year and in 2026.
Thank you. And I want to, I know we've said it before, but recognize this partnership with ODOT is really important in getting this work done. And I'm grateful that they are willing to pay for the expense here. So nice partnership. Appreciate MSD working through that with ODOT. Commissioners, let's do these one at a time. Any comments or questions related to buy leave one?
No comments. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion. We approve of buy leave one.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes?
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. Buy leave two.
Thank you, Commissioners. By leave 2 is resolution number 17 in your packet. This is authorizing an annual information statement for the county for the year ended December 31st, 2024. This is a perfunctory item that we have to do as a part of our financial disclosure work and disclosure for our bonds as well. I know John Bergen is here. John, is there anything in particular you want to say about, I mean, I know the commissioners see this every year, but is there anything in particular that you want to say about this version of the AIS? No? Okay. All right, great. With that, commissioners, I recommend approval.
Any comments or questions?
No questions.
I'm going to make a motion to approve of buy leave two.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you. Buy leave three.
Thank you, Commissioners. By leave 3, resolution number 16 in your packet. This is an amendment to the purchase agreement that we have for property on Gray and Winton Roads. This is actually modifying the purchase sale agreement slightly to reflect a slightly smaller area of initial purchase, expanding our option for a later purchase, just associated with a different area on the site. John is here. John, can you want to just give a little bit more context on this?
So I think you've just said it. Yeah, there's a small piece that's under an environmental covenant. When we redrew the parcel to separate that piece out, they just expanded it to make for more natural boundaries. So the environmental covenant parcel that we're not buying right now is a little larger. The piece that we are is a little smaller. So no change to the overall price tag, assuming we eventually buy the entire property.
Okay.
I did have a question. Oh, okay. Never mind.
All right. Comments or questions?
Yeah, this is for our new animal center that we're
It is.
trying to open. So just to let the residents know.
Thank you. Commissioner Reese?
No question.
All right. I will make a motion to approve of buy leave three.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you. Buy leave four.
Thanks. Stick around, John. By leave 4, adjustment. This is the budget adjustment number 30. This is 11.47 million. This is the renovation. This actually goes together with by leave 5, which is the award of a contract related to the renovation. So this is a budget adjustment to fund the renovation in accordance with the financial model we have for the acquisition and redevelopment of that facility. John, that's by leave number 4. Anything you want to say specifically about the budget adjustment?
We can take these together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And by leave number 5 is a resolution P126-25, authorizing the award of ITB 033-25 and the execution of an agreement with Graybach LLC related to the modifications of the Hamilton County Central Campus location at $9.063 million. So if you want to accept those together, the administration recommends approval of both.
John, anything to add?
We just continue to monitor the project right now. It's looking pretty solid, according to plan. We're a little cash poor right now. We need to concentrate on getting some of the cash, the sources into the project in the next month or so. I could come forward with a request for some advance cash into it. We have to wait for some of these sources to come to fruition. But for right now, we're fine, and the overall budget looks fine for the project.
Well, nobody wants to hear that we're cash poor. So
Just, as
is it a
the
timing
project,
issue?
The project depends in part, our substantial cash contributions are in part sale of other properties. We need to wait for those property sales to close so that we
timing
can
issue.
move those proceeds into the project.
All right, just one.
We might have to bridge that for a little bit if need be.
Okay, very good. And we are in the midst of
We're in the
disposing
midst
of
of
those
those
properties,
sales.
just so people know. All right, commissioners, any questions or comments?
Item 4, I wanted to thank Holly for giving me the information as it relates to the 11.4 million renovation, because I know Central Campus that when you just look inside the building, it's like, why do we need 11.4 million? But it was very specific on very critical items that need to be renovated or purchased. So I thank her for that.
Thank you. Commissioner Reese?
No comments.
All right, I'm going to make a motion to approve of by leaves 4 and 5.
Second,
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes,
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Items 6 and 7 actually go together as well. This relates to the property west of Paycor Stadium. This is the Hilltop property. We are in the process of doing the design work on the new permanent lot that will go on to that property. As the board is aware, we have striped it and we have paved it with recycled asphalt for a temporary parking lot. I believe there's 972 parking spaces on that lot now. This will be the design. Be advancing design work for the long-term permanent replacement of that lot. Phil, anything you want to say about the by leave 6, which would be the update with to the agreement with THP?
It's just working on, as Jeff said, just working on the conceptual design of what this parcel wants to be.
Okay.
I just have a question. With conceptual, what it wants to be, I thought it was a parking lot.
It is a parking lot, but
Could you elaborate a little bit on that, Phil?
That sounded weird, like
Rather,
conceptually.
what do we want it to be? What's the community want it to be?
when it grows up, what it wants to be, right? Yeah, go ahead,
So
Phil.
going back a couple weeks when the city approved the notwithstanding ordinance, they wanted something other than a pure asphalt parking lot, which is what it is today. It's an interim condition. It doesn't technically even meet city parking lot standards. It doesn't have any trees or islands or anything like that. So just making sure that we are listening to the cities, what their input is, obviously our input, and trying to put all that together into this conceptual design and coming up with some options.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good. We've talked about this. It's been quite some time since we talked about this, but I assume that the bike path to the north is part of what you're talking about.
Yes.
And then we did talk about to make it a bit greener, more attractive, because it's a riverfront property by way of trees, some green space. So I assume that's what you're referring to.
Yes.
Okay. All right, very good. Commissioners, any comments or questions?
No comments.
I have a comment. the county paid a lot of money for this hilltop. I wasn't around, but, I don't want this to become a $100 million, $50, $70 million project with green space. I appreciate green space, but we don't make any money off of green space. We make money off of greenbacks. I also want to send a message to the city. Since we say we're working together, I wouldn't want them to put something on us that creates more cost to the taxpayers. And so today, what's happening, a budget adjustment based on what you said, the city sending us back, is costing the taxpayers another $300,000 just for a design. Then after you get the design, then you've got to pay for it. And I just want to be cautious because, the purchase price of getting that place, and then the remediation of it, right? And now we talking $300,000 for some designing. And then once you design it, now you got to pay to build it or do whatever you need to do with it. Then we've got contracts and equipment, RFPs for this thing could get expensive. I thought we originally bought it to have some extra parking spaces for the Bengal games. And I just don't want to, invest a whole lot. It becomes a $50, $60, $100 million project. So I would hope we could take back to the city. We're just as broke as they are. And we cannot have all these things put on us without any investment from them. So I'm going to have to reserve today because this thing could get way more expensive than we had anticipated. I'd like to know what the total cost is going to be because we finally got Hilltop moved and we finally got these parking spaces. And I'm just concerned about the cost of trying to build, Taj Mahal down there. And like I said, I'm all for green, but green does not make money. I remember even the governor, we were showing him some drawings with the Bengals stadium and had all this green stuff. And even he said, Governor DeWine said, well, how you going to make money? All there's nothing but a whole bunch of green. So I just want to be cognizant because that is a valuable piece of land at some point. But I just like to know, I don't want to keep spending more money. That's where I'm at until we, kind of get our arms around everything.
Yeah, if I may.
Yeah.
So part of this would come up with some conceptual options, and along with those concepts would be the price of those conceptual options, at least the current cost estimate for those. So we'd have more information in order to make a decision.
Okay. All right, thank you, Phil. I'm going to make a motion to approve a by leave 6 and 7.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Abstain.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Commissioners, those are my formal by leaves. I have an additional by leave that I could bring in at this time, or if you'd like to do the consent agenda first, I'll defer to you, Madam President.
Well, we've got a consent and we've got some things on the regular agenda too. So why don't we, Commissioners, my preference would be to go to by leave 8 at this time. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and do it.
Okay, so introducing by leave item 8, Commissioners. As the board is aware, the county entered into a letter of intent with the Cincinnati Bengals earlier this summer related to the broad financial terms and framework for a new lease between Hamilton County and the Cincinnati Bengals at Paycor Stadium. Since that time, the county and the team have been working on the substantive terms of a new lease at Paycor. Today, I'm prepared to recommend to you a resolution, a new 11-year lease between the county and the Cincinnati Bengals, along with an ancillary document which is a management agreement associated with that lease. As I said, we have been working with the team for months on this. The major driving terms honestly have been discussed and vetted publicly in terms of the high level, big picture financial terms associated with the county's the renovation project, the term, the financial terms that we have placed into the lease through this document. The broader lease covers all the operational dynamics of this, the how the dollars associated with the renovation get allocated, how they get put into tranches, and by what period of time in order to fund the renovation project, how the accounts are structured to capture the team's 120 million, the county's 350, the team's rent, the county's capital payments, the date by which rent is due, how we go about booking the stadium, the county's new responsibility for that, how we split revenue, insurance, parking, et cetera. So the broader lease goes through all of those elements and more. We've had numerous meetings and negotiations with the team on this. They have been spirited discussions and negotiations. They even going late into yesterday. As the board is aware, July 30, we entered into an agreement whereby the team and the county agreed to have the team extend its trigger date, by which the team was required to notify the county of a 2-year extension to the current lease. It was required to do that under the current and prior lease. This extended it through August 1st with the expectation that we would execute a lease on July 31st, which corresponded with the county's last meeting prior to that August 1st date. In our conversations with the team yesterday, the team had indicated, again, the importance to the team of us hitting that date. We received a version of the lease from the team late last evening. The version before you, the resolution, the lease, and the management agreement, I would say reflects the vast majority of what the county and the team have agreed to. There are a few sections, in particular, some where there was some uncapped liability for the county, where we have proposed in this document language that we believe addresses that. I hope the team will concur with that, execute this mutually, and we can move along with another decade plus of Bengals football in Hamilton County on the riverfront. I do want to thank the board for its policy guidance on this as we have moved through this process. It has been instrumental in helping us get to where we are. Would be remiss if I did not thank a few other folks, and I hope I don't leave anyone out. I want to thank first and foremost at the prosecutor's office, Steve Simon, Roger Friedman, who have just put in incredible work on this. I want to thank our outside counsel with Dinsmore, Marty Dunn, Laura Maloney, George Vincent, Alex Linzer. I want to thank Inner Circle Sports, David Abrams and An Lee, who provided just absolutely instrumental business expertise to this process on behalf of the county. I want to thank our professionals at PFM, Bethany Pugh, Kevin Dowling, our internal staff, be it Joe Paul down at the stadiums, John Brugan, Frank Spataro, Star Markworth, and all the folks that have helped us get to where we are today. And I hope I'm sure I did leave someone out. Oh, Bridget Doherty, I'm sorry, who has helped us out this entire time and has really abdicated her current role to help serve as the point person on so much of this. So with that said, commissioners, I've kind of teed this up with a little bit more detail than I expected to, but I'm going to turn it over briefly here to Mr. Dunn, who is going to walk us through a few of the higher level points here before turning over for a formal recommendation to the board.
Jeff, thank you, and commissioners, it's good to see you again. My, how time flies. It seems like I was just here and we were talking about the LOI. We have had spirited negotiations and a lot of cooperation from the team in negotiating the lease and the management agreement. We had a productive session with the Bengals and the Taft firm yesterday. We got a document late last night that we have worked through. It's close, very close to what we have been negotiating, but what we have presented to you is a document that we feel very comfortable about because it reflects the kinds of terms and conditions that you as a county commission have expressed to us as important. There are certain aspects of this that are still in limbo a little bit, I guess, as far as the team is concerned, namely around parking, which is a very important issue for us. Also with regard to certain uncapped liabilities, and Jeff alluded to that earlier. We are in a position, though, that we feel comfortable that what we have put together and revised, we have taken certain changes and modifications that the Bengals and Taft have given to us, but there's certain things that we have put in there better for the county, and we are ready at this point to present this approved version of the lease and the management agreement, and to present it to the team for signature. Happy to answer any questions. We've gone through several iterations and drafts of the document, a lot of discussions, well into the night, frankly overnight, to get to where we are right now.
Thank you, Marty. I don't have anything further. Commissioners, happy to answer any questions, but do provide it to the board with a recommendation from the administration for approval.
Thank you. Commissioners, while Marty is at the podium, are there any questions or comments for Marty or Jeff related to this?
I have no questions of Marty.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, Commissioner Summer Dumas, I'm going to turn it to you for comments or questions related to the resolution.
Thank you so much. As was said earlier, the lease, we've been working on it forever, and it's been back and forth to the board with different recommendations and hopefully some revisions that were made. So I'm very proud of that. I just have a brief statement. The negotiation has not been easy, and we didn't get. I'll speak for me. I didn't get everything I wanted in this new lease. But that's what negotiation is about. It's a give and take. It's aimed at reaching an agreement, and there are some things that I'm very proud of. Did I want to keep the team here? Yes. Did I want to continue to have the economic impact that the team provides? Yes. Did I want the Hamilton County residents to use the stadium more? Yes. Did I want the Hamilton County residents to reduce the money that they were paying toward the stadium? Yes. Did I refuse to have Hamilton County residents pay any new taxes? Yes. Did I commit to not taking anything out of the general fund, which are our essential services for our people? I demanded that. Yes. Yes means it didn't happen, okay? Did I want the property tax rebate to continue to be included? Yes. Did I want the team to commit to share revenues with Hamilton County? Yes, of course. Did I want to commit the monies to keep the structure safe, which is what we did with the $350 million, and we capped it? Did I want a new lease to ensure we were not stuck with the terrible lease for 10 more years? Yes. Did I commit to having a lease that I can sign my name on? Yes. It's clear to me that this is the best deal for a time such as this. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Reese.
Thank you very much. First, I want to highlight what the process is. If this moves forward today, the Bengals would have to agree to it, as well as then they got to give it to the NFL, and their shareholders get a vote on it. And my understanding is what's presented to us, the Bengals presented something different. In this lease, there are some items that I think are important but yet missing. And that's the taxpayers of Hamilton County. Originally, we wanted to do a 15-year minimum lease. We only have 11 years. Originally, we said we wanted to put $200 to $250 million, which would have allowed us to still have room for the taxpayers to be able to look on a case-by-case basis to get 30% on property taxes. And we heard earlier that it's such a big issue, property taxes, that the governor has to put a task force together to look at property taxes. But when we have a chance to do something right now on property taxes, this deal does not allow us, it takes away our capability of the 30%. I was told that we would never be able to do the 30% that was promised to the taxpayers over 30 years ago. Who knows? If they had known they would not get 30% property tax rebate, that's why they put it in there, it may have never passed. We may have never gotten 2 stadiums. In 1997, we approved a concept and slapped hands, and we were so excited. But when the people began to be unexcited was when they actually got into the main details. And when they got into details, they were so angry that they even voted a county commissioner out of office. That's how serious it was. And so we said this time we'd have a chance to try to right a wrong, But in this deal, the taxpayers are not in it. They're not in it. They're out of it. We can't do 30%. And like I said, property taxes has to be one of the top issues if they got to put a task force together. But we don't have to go to the task force. We can do something right now by making sure that the promise is kept to the taxpayers who went to the polls. Now, in this piece, there are some areas that have to be highlighted. Number one, we have a resolution for a deal that's different than what the Bengals have presented. Number two, once it's passed, and if it's passed, then they got to send it to the NFL, and the NFL gets a chance to vote on it. So it's not something that's happening immediately. Number three, the state. We keep hearing a lot about the state of Ohio. And serving up there and on the finance committee, it was disappointing that everybody in the state didn't think it was important enough to write the Bengals in it. They had a chance to do it. The Speaker of the House had a chance to write in Cincinnati Bengals. He said no, but he wrote in the Cleveland Browns. The state legislators who voted on the budget, they had a chance to write in the Bengals. And if they had wrote it in, we might have been able to have some money left over so that we can make sure the taxpayers could be written in. But they said no. It went over to the Senate. The head of the Senate and the senators, they had a chance to write in the Bengals. They said no, but the Browns were written in. The governor had a chance to veto that line item, but he said no, he's going to sign it into law. So the Browns are in the budget guaranteed. You know, y'all hear about guaranteed contracts. That's what the players be fighting for. They want a guarantee. They're guaranteed in the state budget. Cincinnati Bengals are not guaranteed. Now they have a fund. They said after we take the $600 million, you all can come back and beg. And then guess what? It's called cultural and sports facilities. So that means everybody. It said museums will be able to. We got some museums here that will be going up there. It says sports facilities, all sports. Ohio State would be able to go and try to get the money. You know how they feel about Ohio State getting some money. Every museum, every cultural facility, every theater will be able to get the money left over. They put us in the leftover, including us, but the Browns will have a guaranteed contract with the state of Ohio. That's interesting. Even though they said we went up there and we lobbied and all that, they said no. They said no. Now, let me just say that our job, and I want to thank all the lawyers, I want to thank the administrator, I want to thank everybody, because this was a tough deal to come out of. We were at 96% whole. It was hard to get out of this. But we're also dealing with a team that said they're not trying to let us out off the hook. We wanted 15, they wanted 10 or 11, they got 10 or 11. We wanted the Modell law that says that if you leave, it's a state law, it's one of the good things they did. If you leave You take some public money, you can't leave. In this deal, we would be waiving and letting them leave. They can get out of here at 11 years. After we done put another $350 million plus interest. Plus interest. We're trying to take the responsibility off of us. We want to be indemnified. They said, no, we want the county to be on the hook. They would not allow that in this lease. So we fought for some things, but we didn't necessarily get all of them. No, we're not raising taxes, but guess what? The sales is going up because prices are going up. We get a percentage of the sales tax, so it's still going up. The price of eggs, the price of toilet paper, and all that going up, and we get a percentage. So as it goes higher, we get those dollars. It's getting rough out here for people. So then we had a lot of meetings, but before I go there, this lease also would expire in 11 years or 10 years. Do you know that the Reds lease will also expire in 10 years? Now, how tough it is right now for us to get this done. Can you imagine two teams saying they might walk? Two teams got two stadiums at the same time. I can't imagine negotiating two teams at the same time. And this puts us on the timetable of two teams, the Reds and the Bengals. Reds will be over here saying they got to get their share. Bengals will be over here, you better give us something else. My gosh, I can't even imagine looking at the hard work that our lawyers and administrators up all night, 12 midnight. Can you imagine doing it times two? And can we afford to do it times two at the same time? So lastly, I would just say that this is super complicated. It's super complicated. And a lot of the discussions have happened behind the closed doors, which is what the taxpayers don't want. We just came from behind the closed doors. A lot of behind the closed, we had, you can come and talk for 2 minutes and all that. We had that. But all of the main big stuff was behind the closed doors. And so for me, I think this is too big for just 3 commissioners to be voting on. This is too complicated for just 3 commissioners to be voting on. It has too much implications. We've got risk, we've got financing, we've got future debt, we've got a timetable that overlaps 2 stadiums at one time. We decide that 30% that you were promised is automatically off the table. We got to find out, is this what the voters really want? And so I believe that as we went to the polls in 1996, we ain't been to the polls since 1996. And if the NFL they got to take it to the NFL and they get to vote. The Bengals can't just do it on their own. They have to go to the NFL voters, right? So why would we not take it to the taxpayers and the voters of Hamilton County who will be on the hook to pay for this? As you know, the last commissioners that did this ain't here no more. And then what we do, we not guaranteed if we gonna be around. Mr. Ludo, he might retire, might not be around. So this needs to go to the voters of Hamilton County. So I have a motion that I would like to submit today. A motion to place the proposed county Bengal lease agreement on the ballot. It says, I move that a resolution be drafted and voted on to put the proposed new lease on the ballot so that every Hamilton County resident can vote on it. I further move that the full 30% property tax rebate originally promised to taxpayers in 1996 be explicitly included in the lease language for voter consideration. I'd like to know, what do the voters say? And I'd like to submit this today, and I would call for a vote on the motion on behalf of the taxpayers. Do we have a second on the motion for the taxpayers? I'd like to submit this for the record of the clerk. Thank you.
Thank you. So I too have some comments related to this item. We have had many comments related to these items. First and foremost, I want to thank the team that's done a lot of work at all hours to get us to the point where we are today, to where we are today, to where we were a few weeks ago. It's just been a grueling process for all of us, but particularly for the team that's doing the actual negotiating. So the team, there are many people that have been involved, but Jeff Aludo, obviously, Marty Dunn, George Vincent, David Abrams, who we have not heard from, and I might ask David to weigh in quickly if, David, you're still on the line. Roger Friedman, Steve Simon, Bridget Doherty, and many others who have helped us get to this point. This has not been an easy negotiation. We didn't think it would be easy, and it has not been easy. The Bengals are in a position where they have a lease that has served them for many years, and we in this community wanted to change that lease. And that's not an easy conversation to have. So, as we've moved around the community, I'll speak for myself. As I have moved around the community, I always get asked about what are we doing with the Bengals, what's going on with the Bengals, and it was clear to me that there were some high-level priorities that this community wanted to hit. Those priorities were in no particular order: no new taxes, a better lease, and keep the Bengals in town. That's what I heard over and over again. There was some talk about some of the details, but generally speaking, that was the overall tone of the conversations that I've been having. And I do want to thank those that weighed in. We had a number of people here in person that came to talk about their desire to keep the Bengals here, the economic impact, what it has meant to them in their personal lives, to have the team here. And we've also heard from folks that are not interested in extending an agreement with the Bengals. So we've heard from people via email, in the community, in person, and I thank the residents for participating in this process. It's been critically important that the residents weigh in and talk to us about what they hope they can get from this lease. And we have listened to that, and this document is a reflection of that. So from my vantage point, we have delivered on what the residents were asking us to do. I want to thank everyone for their participation. And as it's been said, by way of the actual negotiations, we didn't get everything we wanted. The Bengals didn't get everything they wanted. Let's just be real clear. This was a negotiation, and so we went in with some things. They went in with some things, very high-level issues. Let's remind ourselves of what has been negotiated here, and we've talked about some of these before, but I don't want to lose sight of the really big issues that are on the table right now by way of this new lease. We've got a term that they wanted a shorter term. We were up to 11 with a trigger for 2 more. I think we hit that trigger, so that would make it 13, so nothing to sneeze at. They came in with a much higher number for us to contribute by way of the capital stack, and we had to come down on that number. We simply couldn't afford anything more than what is in front of us, and it would have been irresponsible to go to a higher number, and so we didn't do that. And our liability is capped, which is really critically important. It is not capped under the current lease, and it is capped in the new lease. And someone had said, and David, I believe it was you, talked about this limited exposure or the limited liability that we suffer from right now through the old lease that we do not have present in the new lease. And I think that's a really big thing. It kind of pervades the whole document. We talked about rent. The Bengals currently, they have in the past, but are currently not paying rent. Under the new lease, they do. And it not only is it $1 million for the first 3 years, but it graduates to $2 million after that. And all of this by way of rent. We've got capped capital expenditures, which is another item that limits our exposure. It's critically important that we have that. The enhancement language has gone away. Once again, limits our exposure. We have control of the facility, and this is the one I heard the most about in the community when it came to community-facing piece of this. People in this community want to use their asset. They paid for the stadium, and they want to be able to use it. and they want us to be able to program it. And so they want high school football games. They want more concerts. They want to be able to participate in that way. And so this lease allows us the opportunity to do that in a way that we've never been able to do before. And then there's some other elements that we've talked about that are critically important, but those are the very high level ones. And so I just want to, as a reminder, talk about what has been gained through the conversations. And as we said, not everything passed through. It's a negotiation. We got some, they got some, and that's the way negotiations work. I do want to hit on two things, though, that have been talked about and then, that I've talked about. The state timing for the opportunity to get state funding is critical to the timing of what we're doing here today. We had conversations with the governor, with the Senate, and the House. There is a mechanism in the state budget to allow us to go to the state and get some money from the unclaimed funds pot. That is something that is available statewide, but there are certain things, criteria that have to be met. And we have a project here that has an obvious economic development benefit for not only our local community, but also from the state. It's shovel ready, it's ready to go. We've got the designs, and so that will be very important and helpful to our chances of drawing down some of these funds. But there is a caveat to that, and the caveat is we need to have an agreement with the Bengals. And so without an agreement with the Bengals, we cannot hope to pull down any of those funds. And my understanding is it's in the hundreds of millions, so that could be substantial, and I do not want to pass on that opportunity. And so, what we're doing here today is very important to that. The other thing that was talked about is the PTR, the property tax rebate. So it is built into this agreement that we will have a PTR. The matter has always been the degree. To what degree can we pay out with the PTR? Back in the day when this was first negotiated, from what I'm told, and I wasn't here either, there was an expectation that the revenues will come in far higher than they have. And so we simply can't afford to pay the 30%. We can't now, we can't in the future unless our revenues go up, but the opportunity to bring that forward every year continues to exist. And so if the finances allow for it, we can think about a high PTR. If they don't, we have the flexibility to say we can't do it this year, so we do a lower PTR, because if we bankrupt this fund, then the general fund kicks in, and we're paying for all of this through the general fund. And our general fund is strained. And the general fund is what we use to do basic services for the residents of this county. And I am not willing to jeopardize the general fund. And so, but I do want to be clear that the PTR has not gone away, but rather is written in here in a way that we have to bring it back, as we do now, every year to try to figure out what we can afford by way of the PTR. So here we are. We're in the red zone. I have to use some kind of reference for a football reference. So we're in the red zone, but we're in a situation where we want a new lease. The Bengals have said they want a new lease. We know the residents of this county want and deserve a new lease. And so I am prepared to vote on a new lease and move the ball forward here. It's time to get this done. We've been talking about it for not only months, but years, and it's time to get this done. So I am supportive of the resolution. And David, please tell me if there's anything you would like to add. I didn't mean to not recognize you earlier. If you do have anything, or shall we move on?
I'm happy just to, I'll get my camera up there.
And as a reminder, David Abrams, our national consultant.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, I didn't know if there was a camera associated with it or not. I'm pleased to tell you that the negotiations, as you mentioned, have not been all that smooth, but you all as a body have given us great direction. We followed that direction and tried to create an agreement which is both acceptable to the Bengals and acceptable to the county, and is a risk-off approach for the county, such that our liabilities are more predictable, and we've achieved that. And in that respect, I think this is a good outcome for the county, and it will secure Bengals playing in Paycor for a decade or more to come. And so we're appreciative of that. We appreciate the way with which everybody conducted themselves, and hopefully we're able to finalize this and move forward in a way that brings on a new sort of era of cooperation between the parties. So thank you.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to make a motion that we approve of the resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a lease agreement by and between the Board of County Commissioners, Hamilton County, Ohio, and the Cincinnati Bengals, Inc.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
My vote is no until the taxpayers have a vote.
Thank you. All right, Jeff, does that conclude your by leaves?
That concludes my by leaves, Commissioners. I think we do have a couple of regular agenda items.
We do indeed. Let's move into the regular agenda. Item number 1 is an item presented by the engineer. Eric Beck is with us. Hello, Eric.
Good afternoon. Just one item. Item number 1 is the vacation of unimproved right-of-ways for Maple Drive and Cedar Drive in Sims Township. We had a public hearing on July 17th. The county engineer's office has reviewed all their documents and everything is in order, and we recommend these 2 vacations.
Are there any comments or questions for the engineer?
No question.
All right, I'm going to make a motion that we approve of regular agenda item number 1.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience. Our next item is an MSD item. Lauren is coming back up to the podium.
Item 2 is legislation to authorize an agreement with the owner of the property located at the corner of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and Reading Road. This is the Uptown Gateway development. The owner of the property is Uptown SEQ Holdings, LLC. MSD rules and regulations don't allow structures in our easements or especially on top of the sewer, but the board can grant an exception. The building on this property was constructed with an overhang that is within the MSD easement. The easement at issue here is 20 feet wide. The sewer itself is 24 to 30 inches in diameter in the center of that easement, and the overhang is 45 feet up off the ground and encroaching on the easement 1 to 2 feet on the edge there. So we consider this to be very low risk to the sewer and the building. The agreement would allow the overhang to remain in the easement, but does require the current owner and any subsequent owner to be responsible for any damage that does occur to the sewer or due to impeding MSD's access. But again, we think that highly unlikely in this case. This item was held from a previous agenda. We've worked with the administration to resolve any remaining questions, but happy to take any at this time.
Thank you. Commissioners, any comments or questions?
No question.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, let's move into the consent agenda.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll walk through the consent agenda items for you. Make sure I'm working from the correct version here. The first consent agenda item, Commissioner, is item number 3. It's the auditor's financial statement of financial transactions for June of 2025. Item number 4 is a bond financing issue. This comes to us from the Hospital Commission. You see these fairly frequently. These are healthcare conduit bonds. In this particular case, new money and refunding issues for the benefit of life-enriching communities. This is not county debt necessarily. This is a provision of the Internal Revenue Code that allows these entities to take advantage of the county's tax-exempt status, advancing their bond financing. Item number 5, Commissioners, is authorizing a resolution to assess $1.40 upon parcels related to the Miami Conservancy District. This is something that we do on a regular basis related to the application of an assessment, in this case $1.40, for properties in the county that benefit from the aquifer protection activities of the Miami Conservancy District. Item number 6 is a resolution certifying 2025 delinquent lodging excise taxes. As the board is aware, we have new authority under the Ohio Revised Code to certify delinquent lodging taxes to the property tax duplicate. This certifies those amounts for, I believe, 5 properties in the county at this point. Item number 7 is a resolution extending a grant agreement to 3CDC for marketing in downtown over the time by which the convention center is still not up and running. Item number 8 is, and that's $100,000, I'm sorry. Item number 8 is a budget adjustment. This is a budget adjustment, $267,000 on juvenile court, $879,000 in the Board of Elections, $889,000 in the Board of Elections, and $1,300 dollar adjustment in the engineer's office for a total of $1.15 million. Item number 9 is bid awards and contracts from the purchasing department for the month of June at $805,371. Item number 10 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with the Council on Aging for home repair services at $100,000. Item 11 is a sales tax execution of a sales tax payment for $172.81. Item number 12, Commissioners, is authorizing an invitation to bid and the execution of an agreement between Sadler Niekamp. This is doing business as ProWare on behalf of, for support of the Common Pleas CMS Net application system at $1.97 million. Item 13 is a resolution determining that certain sanitary easements are no longer needed for county purposes and to execute a release of those easements, $0 associated with that. Item 14, this was referred to earlier. This is a resolution prohibiting the operation of motorized and non-motorized vehicles on the Black Music Walk of Fame, as was indicated earlier. And I want to thank our risk management department for researching and understanding that the county has this particular authority to pass this resolution. We are starting to see as there's more crowds, more traction down to the banks, in particular the Walk of Fame. It's also picked up the fact that we have people that incorrectly operate bikes and skateboards there occasionally, as do many parks and monument facilities, et cetera. And we just want to make sure we're doing what we can to promote the enforcement of that where feasible. So this resolution prohibits that. Then we get into some JFS items. Item 15 is a resolution authorizing an renewal agreement with Talbert House for case management employment program services, $4.944 million. Item 16 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with the Village Network for residential treatment services, $423,000. Item 17 is a resolution authorizing an agreement on behalf of JFS and Carrington Youth, doing business as Carrington Behavioral Health for residential treatment services, $455,000. Item 18 is a resolution authorizing an agreement between the county and Keystone Richland Center for residential treatment services, $2.53 million. And item 19 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with the YWCA of Greater Cincinnati for home visitation parent training services, $600,900. The total of those JFS items are $8.952 million. We have 2 planning and development items. Item 20 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with Catholic Charities of Southwestern Ohio for $75,000, and a resolution authorizing an agreement with Bethany House Services at $200,000. I believe, Commissioners, that completes the consent agenda. Happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Summer Dumas, any comments or questions?
Just a comment on JFS. I don't know, John, if you can answer this, or Laura, if she's on the line, but no big deal. But I know we talked about trying to have our children as close as possible for services, and I remember reading about these different entities. And items 16 through 18 were not in Cincinnati. They were not that far away. But
Yes.
I was just wondering, is there an increase in our children, or we didn't have the services here in Cincinnati?
So most of those times, Commissioners, it's because that facility is able to provide a special service to the children. So we try as much to keep the children local as much as possible. But if a particular facility is the best fit for a child and our caseworkers have to drive them a little bit further, we do that just so that they get the care that they need.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, though, because I think one was like Monroe, Ohio or something. And before it was like Detroit or Cleveland or whatever. So appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. Commissioner Reese?
Yes, just thanks for bringing up the item 14 piece, because I think that's important for clarification. And for safety. And then I have forgot to also acknowledge and thank Waterworks, who provided complimentary water for the thousands of people that came down there. I wanted to highlight that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Without further ado, I'm going to make a motion to approve of consent agenda items 3 through 21.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you. If there's nothing else to come in front of us, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Thank you.